Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. In today's video, I want to talk about feeling lost or stuck in your life. Chances are, if you are feeling lost or stuck in life, it could be because of societal pressures. It could be because you are comparing yourself to other people and thinking that shouldn't you already have that six-figure paying job? Shouldn't you be going back to school? Shouldn't you be in a relationship? Shouldn't you already be marrying? And comparing yourself in that way to other people is like trying to say that your life and your path should be the same as other people, even though it's not. It should be different. Everyone's path is completely different with a different timeline, and it looks completely different opportunities, different doors. Your friend may want to be a chef and you may want to be a chef, and your friend becomes a chef by going to culinary school and then opening their own restaurant. Maybe you don't want to do that, or maybe you try doing that and you don't feel happy. It's okay to do something different, right? It's okay to maybe be a private chef. It's okay to just, start teaching people how to cook. You're still a chef and you're still doing sort of like what you want to do, but it's just different. And everybody feels success and fulfillment differently. One person might want to be in more leadership and authoritative position. Somebody else just wants to just do their job quietly and is happy and is fulfilled with just going to their job and then getting paid. They don't want all that leadership responsibility. So stop comparing yourself and your life to other people's life. You're not meant to have the same path as somebody else. And know that there are an infinite number of different possibilities and outcomes and paths and opportunities for you to achieve what you want. So when I was younger, because of trauma, I really try to protect myself. And one way of protecting myself is by adapting to different people and adapting to different situations. While that is a really great gift to have, and it has served me well in some points of my life, I took it to the extreme where I adapted so much to other people that I lost my own identity. I just really lost myself, my own identity, my own voice. Literally, I purposely, to protect myself, I stripped everything about myself, everything unique about myself. And I also try to follow the cookie cutter, path that everyone tells me to do, my family and society. So go to school and then go to college, get a master's, get a PhD, get a stable 9-to-5, 6-figure job, have a family, raise your kids, and then retire, and then you can do whatever you want. And I tried to live my life like that. And it wasn't, I always felt like because I was living as if I was somebody else, I wasn't being authentic to myself. The people that I meet and the situations I would be in, the opportunities that would come for me would just reflect that back to myself. And I would always wonder why I had the short end of the stick in every situation, and why why these things would happen to me. I would always have this victim mentality. I would just wallow in self-pity. And it wasn't a good style. It didn't fulfill me at all. That's when I started learning more about myself. I started being into tarot. I actually discovered tarot accidentally. Like, it just got recommended to me, and I was like, oh, this is like, I don't know what this is. Like, magic. I like magic. It's cool. The cards are pretty. I like art. So yeah, I started listening to it, but none of the like readings really resonated with me because I wasn't authentic. Um, so I kind of just stopped, you know, reading, like watching tarot readings. But that kind of like, but then like years later, I started like getting to tarot again. And my God, like the reading was so scary accurate. I was like, what is this? Witchcraft. Like the sorcery, this magic. And so I just really got into tarot, and tarot was a great way to really like get to know myself, especially when I would like watch readings that helped me kind of like clear up some of like the fog in my life. So I kind of had an idea about like what kind of careers are good for me. I kind of had an idea about like what natural talents and gifts I had. And then I started delving into taking these like personality quizzes, like figuring out what my MBTI was, figuring out what my human design was and my astrology sign, and whether or not they were accurate or not. I mean, they were accurate to a certain extent. Like, I would just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But it's just like I learned that there's so much more to me than what I thought and what people thought, right? The people around me aren't really great at telling me who I am. I remember like in my writing classes, you would have to like describe ourselves in words. And then I remember the professor would say like, oh, if you don't know like how to describe yourself, you just ask someone and then they can tell you. But then I was like, that doesn't really help if you are not authentic to yourself, because people would probably describe me as, introverted and not really like into certain things, and maybe very like, I don't know, like stationary and just not. But then I discovered that actually I'm really active and I'm really expressive and I'm very adventurous and I'm creative, and it's just completely like, not completely different from how people describe me, but people don't know me because I wasn't really like showing this authentic version of myself to other people, which, to be fair, sometimes in certain situations, we kind of do have to hide a bit of ourselves just to protect ourselves, which is what I still like do to this day. But when it comes to like my life and how I want to live, put yourself out there, be authentic. And it doesn't matter if you are being judged. It doesn't matter if it feels illogical. If it makes you feel fulfilled, then how is that wrong? Or how is that, like, why would you still want to do something else? If that makes sense. So know that everyone's path is different. And when you start learning about yourself, you realize like, oh, so like my path is different. It's like this, and I have these natural talents and abilities. And the more that you lean into those things about yourself that you're just naturally gifted at, that fulfills you, that you have a desire for, you realize that like doors will just open for you, that you'll start to feel more fulfilled. You'll be more authentic, and you'll have like less of that confusion of being lost. You don't need to know exactly where your path will lead. Nobody does. And I don't think you should know exactly like every single step of the way on your path, especially because life is really funny, and you think like in order to, start a business, you can't just, you get like an MBA, and then you know, get like an LLC, and then your products. And yeah, part of that is what you need to do to start a business. But maybe one day you're like walking your dog at the dog park, and then you meet somebody, and then you guys start talking, and then they have a business, and then boom, you're like a business owner. Like, it's really like, you can't, there's no like one path in how you want to get from A to B to your destination. So, stop like obsessing over being lost, and stop stressing about it. The more that you're going to start stressing about it and feeling lost, the more you will feel lost, because you'll feel so overwhelmed and paralyzed that you're going to make the wrong decisions and the wrong move, that you're going to stay stuck exactly where you are. But if you start to move forward, whether it's like the right path or decision or not, there's going to be momentum, right? You can at least figure out, oh, does this feel good or this doesn't feel good? And if it doesn't feel good, you are allowed to just pivot and do something else. If it feels good, continue doing that. See what it leads, right? You don't need to know exactly where it's going to go, but just follow that fulfillment, follow that desire that's within you. I tell my brother all the time, back when I was younger, that I feel so lost and feel so stuck. And he just said, you're lucky. You're lucky, because the whole world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want. You can explore in any direction you want. You don't have like these commitments that other people have. It's a blessing. And it really is. When you are lost, when you are feeling stuck, it's like an adventure. You can literally like pick and choose your own adventure. You pick and choose your own story. And nothing is set in stone, right? If you do something and you're like, oh, this doesn't feel good, pivot. You have the ability to do that, right? You're not like stuck in one certain like place, right? And if you are, you can still pivot and change at any point of time in your life. And speaking of timing, know that timing for you looks different for somebody else, right? So maybe like all your friends are going to get married, and you're like, I don't even have a boyfriend. That's completely fine. You'll be in a relationship in your own time. And maybe it makes sense for you to not have a relationship because you're still figuring out your career. And maybe once you figure that out, or at least you're in a good place with it, then you're going to have a relationship. And once that happens, you're like, oh, I'm so relieved that, I have at least one part that I'm confident in. And, and so, just don't be so stressed about feeling lost, because the more that you like stress about it, the more it's easy to think about like, why things are just happening to you instead of happening for you. And it's easy to be stuck in a victim mentality. It's easy to just wallow in self-pity. And when you're in a very low vibrational state and you're just so focused on like, what to do, you kind of miss all the wonderful people and all the wonderful opportunities that are around you currently at the moment, because you're so like focused and obsessed with like what your next move is. So yeah, just explore. That's all I can say. Explore and see how you feel doing that certain thing. Um, so another way that I kind of discovered a little bit more about myself is to be in solitude. And actually this happened to me like life just kind of put me in solitude. I didn't really choose that for myself. Life was just like, it just chose for me. And I was like, okay, well, I can't really do anything about it. So I'm just gonna like make the best of it. And in solitude, I learned so much about myself because like, just like through like what truly fulfills me and what truly drains my energy. What is my true interest and desires, and what's my like relationship kind of like approach? What's my approach to working? Do I want a 9 to 5 job in corporate, or do you want to be like an entrepreneur and just be my own boss? You know, and but I think the most important thing I want to get from being in solitude is it really forces you to de-influence all of the like beliefs and habits and thinking that are just put onto you by other people. Sometimes you might not even know it, but we are catering to different people. We are adapting to different people. Or like we just tolerate certain people, or because you have somebody's interest in this, you just kind of go along with it, even though you're just like okay with it, but it's not like you're really into something, right? Take the time to really de-influence yourself and be like, okay, what actually works and what doesn't work? What do I actually like and what I don't like? And this like, through being in solitude, I even learned about like what kind of talents I have, like even more. And I also learned about like, oh, even for food and diet. Like I learned about like what foods actually make me feel good and energized and how I want to live my life. I'm currently living with my parents right now, and it is not always rainbows and sunshines. Actually, it's like 30% rainbows and sunshines. Like I cannot be authentically myself around my parents. It's really hard for me to do that. And they want, how they raised me is not how I want to live my life. So when I am in solitude, I realize I am so much more happier. Like I am so much more energized. I'm so much more creative. I eat the foods that I want to eat, and I don't have my parents here to just judge me. I can like create whatever I want without being judged. I just feel more me and authentically me and aligned. And so sometimes you're just not like aware that you are being influenced, even though you are. Same for social media. Be very aware and conscious about what you watch. If you're like always feeling like sad or angry or depressed all the time, just kind of like note like what kind of content do you watch. Maybe you are feeling that because you watch like drama content that doesn't make you feel good, or you watch like, you know, there's a lot of people who share like horror stories, and a lot of people are actually into that, and that's completely fine. I'm not saying like it's a bad thing. Like that's not like people shouldn't do that. I'm just saying like if you personally are not interested in that and it makes you feel not great inside, then stop like participating in that, right? A lot of times there's like trends and everything, but please just check in with yourself. Like, do you want to participate in that? Does it make you feel good? If it doesn't, then stop, right? Doesn't matter if everybody is doing it. If everybody has a Stanley Cup and all you have is this slim mug, I think that's called, Simply Modern like cup. First of all, this is so beautiful. Look at this. But like, yeah, it's like, it doesn't matter if like everybody is doing it, but you, but it doesn't matter. Like, you don't need to care so much about and focus on like what other people are doing. Just focus on yourself and how that makes you feel. Because your own happiness and fulfillment and peace should be your number one priority, not somebody else's. Yeah. So, and then if you are also, just know that like, you know, our brain is really great. It's very logical and it can think of like very logical approaches, but just know that sometimes you have to take a illogical approach, and that's completely fine as well. I hear like a bunch of stories of how people started their business and everything, or like how they just kind of stumbled into this passion. They weren't even really thinking of like being logical. They weren't even thinking of like, this is what I'm going to do. It was just kind of like, it just happened almost like it was an accident, even though it was probably just like meant for them. But like, just know like, yeah, everything happens in a unique way in your life. Everything unfolds in timing for you, and your life doesn't have to look like somebody else's life. If you just lean into being authentically you and just following what makes you feel good and makes you feel fulfilled and following your desires, then you won't get led astray. You might not know exactly what a path leads you, but so my mic just cut off. So I'm just going to put this outro here and say that you're fine, that you're okay. Nobody knows exactly where they're going or what they're doing, including me. So you're not alone. If you like this video, put a little tree emoji, any tree emoji down below, so I know that you watched the end of this video. And I also started an Instagram account for this channel, so be sure to check that out if you want to. I'll be posting like behind the scene photos, as well as short clips of the podcast. So if you don't have time to sit through and listen or watch the whole video, I will be posting a shorter, very short, like 90-second snippet of that video on Instagram. And I think it's just a great way to further connect with you guys and chat. So yeah, I'll put that Instagram link down below. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.